At the Stumpy House and Enclosure, the ugly monkeys, as they're affectionately known, are being let out for their morning feed and exercise. The past 12 months have brought dramatic changes to the elderly group. First, they lost their long-time leader Sam and 2 of the females. And now, in the last month, Kelly has had to be put to sleep, and Noreen has passed peacefully away of old age. There are just 3 macaques left in the group.
It's just been a very, very difficult year down here. It's not what we expected. Obviously, last summer we lost Flo, Sam and Charlie, all within a month of each other. So it is very strange down here. It's very quiet with just the 3 of them.
The 3 remaining macaques are the boys Toto and Freddie and female Sylvie. At 24, she's the youngest of the trio, and the only survivor from the group of 12 rescued from a medical research laboratory in Scotland in 2010. Leader Sam and 18 other Stumpies had arrived 10 years earlier from another British research laboratory. All 31 of the lab macaques arrived with numerous medical conditions. Many were overweight and most were in their teens or older.
For us to still have some of those guys left sort of coming up to 12 years later is really quite some going. But one thing we have learnt with them over the years is that when the Stumpies start to show symptoms, you know that you're getting to quite a bad place with them because they are so tough. They hide and mask pain and anything really, really well. And it is a difficult decision for the staff whether we put a Stumpy to sleep, but invariably we've always found out that actually once we've done it, it's very much the right decision.
Amid all the turmoil, there is a silver lining. Toto, Freddie and Sylvie are now living, eating and sleeping as one group. Differences have been set aside and it's all harmonious, for now. The hierarchy appears to have been finally worked out, with Toto in charge and Sylvie happy to be at his side.
Yeah, Toto is doing very well. It's been a long, slow process for Toto to learn how to be a macaque, really. In the past year, his biggest achievement probably has been the fact that he's learned how to forage for food on the floor, because this was always a challenge with him. To be honest, in terms of enrichment for these guys, giving them some really good foraging probably burns off more calories than them sort of working out how to get something out of a Kong or something. It's one of the best ways of keeping them busy, and it keeps them entertained for a good period of time.
Freddie seems pretty content with his lot, although does get overlooked sometimes by the other 2.
Since we've had the 3 of them back together, Freddie's actually spending quite a lot of time outside. He's sort of enjoying sort of the enclosure, and it's really good for him to be able to get the fresh air and a bit of vitamin D, and yeah, just also good for him just to be able to move around. He's been doing a lot of running around and displaying as well out there.
It may have been a tumultuous 12 months, but Toby is philosophical.
It is very sad, but we know that these guys have had a much better life here than they could ever possibly have, and say we've still got these 3 going strong and exploring their enclosure, and the last sort of week of the 3 of them back together, they seem to have got a new lease of life.
Life at the Stumpy House is much quieter and calmer these days. The 3 remaining stump-tailed macaques, Toto, Freddie and Sylvie, are doing well. They all appear to have accepted their place in the hierarchy, and it's working. Today, Karen from the primate care team is going to give them a bit of a treat.
We've got big pine cones and they're filled with frozen treats. We've got banana, blueberries, blackberries in some of them. So then they've been put in the freezer, so they're a bit frozen. That makes it a bit tougher for them to get it out, otherwise it's a bit too easy. It's really nice because it's been really warm recently, so on a nice sunny day, it's really nice to have a bit of a frozen treat. We all like our old ice lollies, don't we? So this is just a healthy version for the Stumpies.
Over the years, weight management has been a priority for the Stumpies. They're only given fruit in their diet 3 times a week because of the high sugar content. But everyone deserves a treat now and again. It won't be easy for the trio. The fruit has been mashed up and frozen in the pine cones, and Karen is placing them all over the enclosure, some in hard-to-reach places.
Sylvie's quite agile. She's our youngest, she's our only female, but she's pretty agile. So we'll see. She might not even spot that one, but if we pop it there, and hopefully, fingers crossed, give her something to do. Use those legs. Go on, Stumps! Good girl, Sylvie. Go find the treats. Good boy, Toto.
Karen opens up and the trio head outside. Fruit is a favourite and a good motivator to get them moving. Toto finds one of the easier options. He started to develop cataracts in his eyes and sometimes struggles to locate small objects. The pine cones are perfect for him. Freddie is also tucking in. Of the three, he's bottom of the hierarchy and gives up his bounty when Sylvie appears. But she isn't top of the pile. Somehow, that honour now belongs to Toto.
We're not really sure how, probably just size and teeth and, don't know, dumb luck, really. I don't really know. He's not the smartest. Freddie is way smarter than Toto and understands dynamics better and behaviour better. But somehow Freddie's been submissive to him and we're not quite sure how that's happened. But Toto is certainly the dominant animal in there, followed by Sylvie. So poor Freddie is now right at the bottom underneath Toto and Sylvie. But he's a clever animal and he knows where he fits now in the hierarchy.
And he's smart enough to get his fair share of the treats. Sylvie, meanwhile, has spotted the pine cones Karen placed high in the tree. She demonstrates just how agile elderly stump-tailed macaques can be, easily scaling the tree, collecting the cones, and jumping back down. Toto tries to demonstrate his dominance, but Sylvie scarpers with most of her cones intact.
Oi, Toto. Meanie.
As top man, Toto doesn't need to work too hard for his food. It's always a challenge finding the right kind of enrichment for the stumpies, but today's frozen treat has proved a hit. With the season starting to change, and the days getting shorter and colder, many of the park's primates are spending more of their time in the warmth and comfort of their houses. For the primate care staff, it's important to encourage the animals outside for fresh air and to burn off some energy. Today, they hope to persuade the park's two Saki monkeys, Desmond and Chloe, out into their enclosure. Elle's tactic is to put out some freshly cut browse laden with tiny crab apples. They're high in antioxidants and an excellent source of fibre and vitamin C. It might also appeal to the third member of the group, Loki the marmoset.
Obviously, common marmosets and Sakis wouldn't be found naturally together in the wild, but they make a really good group. The two Sakis are a little bit older now, so they're a little bit slower, and Loki's kind of like the crazy young one in the group that they've adopted. They seem to get on pretty well.
Despite the age and mobility difference, Elle is confident the two Sakis will get their share of today's treat.
Chloe is turning 30 this year, so she's really old. However, she will give it a good go. She'll probably go for the branches that are quite closer to the platforms, whereas Desmond is probably going to go for the more challenging ones because he's younger, he's got more of the ability to stretch and grab.
Elle opens up and Loki is straight into the enclosure, keen to explore and check out anything new. His first move is to start gouging into the fresh bark to release the sap. Then he scent marks the branches, claiming them as his territory. Saki monkeys and marmosets, like humans, have colour vision, so they have no problem spotting the bright fruits amongst all the foliage. Chloe is the more adventurous of the pair. Straight away, she tucks into a juicy crabapple. White-faced Saki monkeys eat mainly fruit. They have robust incisors and canines, allowing them to break through tough skins and shells. Their diet also consists of seeds, nuts, leaves and insects. The pair are devoted to each other, and Desmond is very protective of his mate. Wherever she goes, he follows. They're never apart for long. The enclosure has been adapted to accommodate the elderly Sakis, but still has plenty for a lively and energetic marmoset to enjoy.
The enclosure is really well built for the both of them. We've got some really high branches, we've got some low branches and platforms dotted around the place. And not just that, some ladders to make it easier for our old Sakis to get around in comparison to Loki, who can jump through the branches.
The trio are savouring today's treat, and the team plan to leave the branches in place to give them the opportunity to forage and enjoy the browse for as long as they like. The staff at the park do all they can for every primate resident in their care. One of their top priorities is finding the animals companionship of their own kind. So it was a huge blow last week when Saki monkey Desmond lost the mate whose company he cherished. The team discovered his long-term partner Chloe had passed away overnight in her sleep. Chloe was 30 and the oldest Saki monkey in Europe.
She was a really old lady. She did so well. Sakis are meant to get to 20, maybe 25 years old. Chloe was 30. She was due to turn 31 in a couple of months, which is incredible. And of all the ways to go, she passed peacefully in her sleep. She was just a bit quiet, a bit slow for a few days, nothing major wrong, no big symptoms, no suffering. And we just came in the morning and she'd passed on her blanket in her bed, which, while very, very sad, so you can't wish for a better ending than that.
Chloe originally came to the park in 2016 as a friend for Jethro, an eccentric geriatric male. When he died, Desmond arrived to keep Chloe company. It was love at first sight, and the pair became devoted to each other. With no other Saki monkeys at the park, Chloe's death means Desmond has lost companionship of his own kind, as well as his best friend.
So it is a big change, and Desmond and Chloe were such a lovely pair bond. He was very tolerant of her as she was getting older, and she would just sort of wander up to him and just sort of take a monkey nut out of his mouth and things, and he would kind of let that slide and was very patient with her. They'd spend a lot of time sunbathing out in the outside enclosure together, lots of time grooming and things. So it's just a challenge now for the primate care staff to keep Desmond entertained in other ways, to make sure that he's not, sitting around and moping, and he's busy and active and doing stuff.
Fortunately, he's not completely alone. Chloe and Desmond shared their home with Loki, a common marmoset, who seems incapable of making friends with other marmosets. But he's happy to tolerate Saki monkeys and doesn't object to having Desmond around. Today, Steph's giving them a selection of nuts and seeds in feeders and balls, designed to pique Desmond's interest.
To keep him entertained and to keep him busy, we've been giving him lots of enrichment, which he never really cared about before. When Chloe was around, he couldn't be bothered with that because he was just sort of distracted with a female. But ever since that we've lost her, we're noticing that anything new we put in the enclosure, he gets really interested in. So today we've got some ball pit balls stuffed with some straw, with some nuts and some waxworms in. We've got the same with little kaplunk tubes, and we've got a couple of hanging bug feeders as well that will hang up, and hopefully the worms will drop out the bottom and Desmond will help manipulate them to get the bugs out. And we just like offering him anything and everything at the moment just to keep him busy. Right then, boys. You wanna come and see? Go and have a look.
Loki leads the way,
Good boy, Pokey.
but it's Desmond who reaches for the prize first.
Good boy, Desmond.
Taking it to a high platform to get a better look. Sakis have long, skinny fingers, so rummaging through the feeder to see what's inside is easy, and he's soon picking out the nuts and seeds. Loki takes a cursory look at one of the seed balls, but he spotted something much more to his liking in the other bedroom. The tasty waxworms he adores. Desmond's happy to tackle Loki's rejected feeder ball, fully embracing the day's challenge.
I think Desmond previously didn't really bother with enrichment and things that we would put in the enclosure. I think because a lot of his time was made up with looking after Chloe. Especially the last few years, he knew she was slowing down a bit and he was very protective. So if she hadn't come in yet, he wouldn't come in yet either. And if she'd gone to bed, he had to go to bed as well and things like that. So it's actually quite nice seeing him actually using his brain and engaging in things a little bit, because we're supposed to be able to challenge these. They're supposed to be intelligent primates, so it's nice to see them actually doing that.
Desmond and Loki don't groom each other or interact much, but it's good for them both to have easygoing company. However, at 15 years old, Desmond is still young and needs the company of his own kind sometime in the future.
We're hopeful that maybe we might be able to find him another companion. I think Alison's putting feelers out to see if that's a possibility, and it would be nice to bring another Saki monkey in for company again. But for the meantime, we'll focus on keeping him busy and active, and at least he's got sort of Loki as a bit of company.
For the last few months, the park's only Saki monkey, Desmond, has been coming to terms with losing Chloe, his life partner and the oldest Saki in Europe, who sadly passed away of old age. He has common marmoset Loki for company, but although they are comfortable with each other, it's not the same as companionship of his own kind. As a result, the team have been searching far and wide to find Desmond a suitable female friend, and finally, it seems their patience and determination has paid off.
This new female is called Neva. She's a young female. She's coming from Combe Martin Wildlife Park down in Devon. And she's just getting a little bit older in her family group, sexually mature. And naturally in the wild, she would move off and start having her own family. She'd meet a partner. So instead, she's coming to Monkey World and she's going to meet Des.
At just 6 years old, Neva is 10 years younger than Desmond. She's never experienced anything other than life in her family group, which includes both parents and siblings. The move will be a big but necessary change for her. Hopefully Desmond will fit the bill as a new life partner. To make Neva's transition as smooth as possible, one of the park's primate care team will be spending time with her at Combe Martin.
Yeah, so we've got one of our primate care staff, Sharon, going to visit Neva early, just before she arrives at the park, just so when Neva comes, she's got a familiar face and she doesn't feel so like this is a brand new world and it's scary. So she's going to spend some time with Neva, getting to know her, and vice versa, because obviously they also have to get to know us. And then when she arrives here at the park, she'll already know Sharon.
Desmond and his prospective mate won't meet straight away. As with most introductions, they'll spend a day in adjacent bedrooms, getting used to the sight, sound and smell of each other. The primate care staff can't wait.
The team are really excited. We obviously have had Chloe, who's a female Saki monkey, but this Neva, she's going to be younger, she's going to be more agile, probably going to encourage Desmond to live a bit more of an active life than Chloe did, because Chloe was old and a bit inactive. So we're really excited to see what changes we can make for the both of them.
Alison's arrived at Combe Martin Wildlife Park in North Devon, just a few miles from the coast. After a search lasting months, she's come to collect a female Saki monkey, in the hope she'll become a partner for Desmond, the park's male.
They've got a young female that was born here called Neva, and she's living with her family still. I think there might be 5 of them in the group. And Mom has just given birth about 6 weeks ago, so she's had the chance to see her mum looking after what's her younger sibling, and it's time for her to graduate and come meet Desmond, so hopefully they'll get on.
Alison is meeting up with the Wildlife Park's head keeper, Louisa.
Hi, I'm Alison. Pleasure. You can work at Monkey World. Everybody wears shorts year round. Yeah.
Are you guys wanting to head down and see Neva?
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
Set in 28 acres, Combe Martin Wildlife Park is home to a variety of animals and birds, including a number of primates. Their family of 5 Saki monkeys is well established and includes a new baby girl just a few months old. Big sister Neva is 6 and soon to reach sexual maturity. Now is the ideal time for her to move on and meet a male partner, as she would in the wild. Hopefully, she'll take a liking to Desmond.
Hi, you guys. Neva.
Some of the group are in their outside enclosure.
Hello, mister. Wow.
And they seem to be enjoying themselves.
Oh, you? I know.
So Neva's a lovely individual. She's a really sweet-hearted Saki monkey. She's kind. She's got a bouncy, energetic side to her, though. But although she still plays a lot with her family, we've started to notice that she's spending a lot more time separate from them. I think she's just pushing the boundaries a bit more, and she's getting to that age that she would naturally be pushed out from her family group. So she has still got a great bond with them, but we're looking forward to... Well, I'm going to miss her, but we're looking forward to her heading off and obviously having a boyfriend, obviously with you guys down at Monkey World, so.
Alison is delighted to see Neva in her home environment.
What a fabulous time she's been having with her father and her brother bouncing around the enclosure. I think enclosure-wise we'll be able to match that, and hopefully her adult hormones and maturing will mean that she's attracted to Desmond. I suspect that there'll be a lot of flirting from the minute she walks into the house. I think he'll start purring away at her.
It could be some time before the 6 baboons from Lebanon make their way to Dorset. But now it's back to business, and one smaller female monkey is definitely moving there today. But first, Louisa has to entice Saki Neva into her travel box.
Hi. Good girl.
Fingers crossed that the training has done the trick. It's just so much nicer for an animal to walk willingly into a box rather than to have to chase them or actually grab hold of them and put them in, so.
Time to find out.
Good girl. Well done, sweetie.
Job well done. Neva walks straight in and is soon safe and secure in the box.
Good girl. Do you miss her? Yeah, gonna miss her a load. She's a sweet pea, but doesn't mean we won't go to see her down at Monkey World.
Ooh, she's a bit of a chunk. What was her weight?
1.88.
Yeah, the mesh bit forward so I can see her.
Time for a few goodbyes before setting off.
I think we're all good. We've done papers, we've done everything
Yeah, you've got
else.
diets and obviously the pellet and that side of things. So yeah, I think it was everything.
Thank you.
It's so lovely to meet you.
No, you too. Honestly,
Hopefully
anytime.
she settles in really well.
Yeah.
It's a 2.5-hour journey back to the park in Dorset, where a new life and a new male partner are waiting for Neva. Following a 2.5-hour journey from North Devon, Alison has arrived back at Monkey World with Saki monkey Neva, safe and secure in her travel box. She's hoping the 6-year-old female will be a new companion for Desmond, who lost his longtime mate some months ago.
She's not made a sound the whole way, so I think she's a little bit shy and like, why is this happening?
Neva's left her family behind, along with everything she's ever known. But hopefully her growing maturity will help her embrace this new life and, for the first time, a male partner. She's taken to the Saki monkey house, where, unaware of the potentially life-changing moment, Desmond is busy eating. The 16-year-old male has been without companionship of his own kind since Chloe, his life partner and soulmate, passed away from old age. She was older than Desmond, but now he has the prospect of a younger woman in his life. Neva is 10 years his junior, but the team hope the pair will still take a fancy to each other.
Happy?
They won't meet face to face today. Instead, they'll be in adjacent bedrooms and able to see and hear each other in order to give Neva time to settle in.
Right, is everyone happy? We'll go for it. Yeah? Right. Hello, gorgeous.
Primate staff member Steph opens up the travel box. But Neva is rather reluctant to step out.
Come on, Des.
Perhaps it's the sight of Desmond, along with his housemate, common marmoset Loki.
Hey, Desmond.
Or the fact they share the house with a group of squirrel monkeys. Another sight Neva isn't accustomed to.
This is an awful lot for a young lady to take on board, leaving your family, moving to a new home, and then coming into a house both with squirrel monkeys and a slightly loopy marmoset in the mix.
Good boy.
Neva takes her time. Until, finally, plucking up courage, emerging, and heading up high for safety.
She's out.
Good girl.
Who's that, Desi?
It's all a little confusing for the young Saki monkey. However, there is one familiar face. Primate care staff member Sharon spent a couple of days at Coombe Martin Wildlife Centre getting to know Neva.
I think we don't want to push it with these guys. We'll probably keep them separate tonight, and then when we come in tomorrow, they'll have sort of settled. Neva will be happier with her surroundings. Desmond will have got the testosterone displaying out of his system, and hopefully we'll be ready for an open up and an introduction. We've certainly seen a little bit of tongue flicking, some positive signs, so fingers crossed tomorrow we can open up and all will be well.
It's been a hectic day for young Saki Neva. But perhaps tomorrow everything will fall into place and she'll seize the opportunity to bond with Desmond and start her new life. Saki monkey Neva has just woken up in her new home. Alongside, in an adjacent bedroom, is her potential new mate, Desmond. Neva has moved to the park from a wildlife centre in Devon in the hope the two Sakis will pair up, following the loss of Chloe, Desmond's previous partner.
We're gearing up for her to meet Desmond. I think it's time now. They've kind of both they've spent the night with mesh contact, and I think she needs contact with another monkey now.
So far, Desmond has been the perfect gentleman. He's put on a decent show without being intimidating.
He's been keen. I think he's kind of made the moves. He's puffed up. He's flexed his muscles. He's shown that he's a worthwhile companion, and she did seem quite impressed with that yesterday. So I think now we'll just see what happens. It's all gauges on when you open those slides, but he's a gentleman, and she seems like quite a sweet girl. So yeah, I'm sure they'll get along. There we go.
Sharon opens up the slide connecting the two bedrooms, and Desmond cautiously makes his way in. A little unsure, Neva tucks herself up in a corner, curious but wary. The primate care staff have put out breakfast to keep the pair occupied. And at first, Desmond's appetite takes priority over his love life.
What do you think, Des?
But after a quick snack, he makes his move, cautiously leaning across to greet Neva. It's looking positive.
He's trying. And she's tongue flicking him as well.
Saki monkeys are generally gentle animals, and Desmond's calm approach seems to appeal to Neva. They start flirting using their tongues.
I mean, tongue flicking, yeah, is basically a flirtatious behaviour. She's inviting him to come and mate her. It seemed to be quite instinctive, and we saw this yesterday with them as well. They were both sort of tongue flicking through the mesh at each other. So yeah, that's her just welcoming him towards her.
With things going well, Desmond decides it's time to take things to the next level.
Desmond is an experienced male. He has had offspring before in the past, so he should, in theory, know what he's doing. He is vasectomized, so we won't be having any babies here at the park. We've done that because all of the offspring that Desmond has fathered have had some health issues, so we want to make sure that he doesn't have any more offspring that have any health conditions. So we won't be having any babies, but obviously they'll still go through the courtship, the mating behaviours. At the minute, we think Desmond's kind of forgotten how to do all those things because he seems to be doing a little bit wrong. But again, they're just getting used to each other, doing some practicing, and hopefully they'll be very happy together.
This is all new to Neva, who's spent her entire life living with her parents and siblings. But if Desmond can get his act together, these two Sakis could be a perfect match. As another year at the park nears its end, there's been some exciting news for all the team. The number of different species may soon be increasing, with the arrival of 6 baboons.
I just think they're great. Jeremy will love them to bits because, as he always says, he loves oldie, worldy, roughy, tufty monkeys, and you don't get more roughy, tufty than a Hamadryas baboon. So, yeah, I'd like to try and help out with the baboons, and we can do that, try and get that done sooner rather than later.
The baboons, 3 males and 3 females, are currently being looked after by Animals Lebanon, a charity based in Beirut, which campaigns to improve animal welfare and legislation. It's run by Jason Meyer and his partner Maggie. All 6 baboons originally came from a small zoo in Lebanon and have been looked after by the organisation in the hills above the city since 2017.
He's always asked if Monkey World could take these baboons, and we just haven't had a place to put them. But now, we're at a point where it's possible now. Our Stumptail macaques have, over the years, dwindled in number. They were elderly, and we only have 3 remaining now. So really, that whole enclosure that was designed for a large group of stumpies could be quite a nice home for 6 baboons. They're absolutely fantastic. And again, I'd love to be able to help out Jason and Maggie and Animals Lebanon.
Today, Alison is having a video call catch-up with Jason.
Hi, Alison.
Hey, good morning, Jason. How are you?
I'm good. It's been a long time.
The baboon's current home was always meant to be temporary. But the COVID pandemic and other local circumstances delayed finding a solution. The climate in the area has also made the situation challenging.
Strangely, the last couple winters were very cold there, and it's never happened before. So there's actually 0.5 meter of snow. And so they're fine, I do it up, but it takes so much effort to get that place insulated, and there's really no way to heat it. It's just not an ideal setup, and I would hate to have to rebuild around them, where instead, if it was just an empty space and I had some time and a little bit more money, I could do something much more nice and permanent.
Mm-hmm.
Alison's keen to get some background information on the 6 primates.
They've not had any particular health issues or problems at all.
That's it. Rambo with his teeth, and he's missing a tiny bit of one finger. And other than that, nothing.
But before anything can happen, the move needs to be agreed between the UK and Lebanese authorities, followed by health checks to obtain the necessary paperwork. It could take months of planning before the scheme to move the troop of baboons to Dorset becomes a reality.
You guys look after yourselves, and look forward to speaking to you again soon.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Monkey World and Animals Lebanon have collaborated before, when they rescued chimpanzee Kiki, and more recently, Gwenon's Benny and Nia, and Nora the loris.
They're just some of the kindest people wanting to make a difference for both wildlife and domestic animals in and out of Lebanon. So it's the right time, I think, for both Animals Lebanon and for Monkey World to be able to consider whether we can help them out.
The prospect of a small troop of baboons being rehomed at the park demonstrates the constant evolution of the team's work to do their utmost to help primates in need around the globe. It's already been a busy year, with the arrival of Argentine chimps Sasha and Kangu.
Get on then, everyone. Everyone be nice.
Both now settled into individual groups.
Good girl!
And the rehoming of lone squirrel monkey Kimbo, who's still learning how to behave like a monkey. Work to rescue and rehabilitate pet trade marmosets continues.
He needs sorting out. Here you go.
As do efforts to maintain and improve the environment and houses enjoyed by the park's residents. which now includes the need for a baboon-proof enclosure. Who knows what challenges next year might bring? Coombe Martin Wildlife Centre, Neva's current home, houses more than 20 different species. But there's one in particular the Monkey World team want to take a closer look at when they visit to collect her. It's the centre's small group of Hamadryas baboons. An old world primate Alison and the team are soon going to learn a lot about. Alison's been aware of these baboons for some time, but until now was unable to offer them a home. It's a species never previously rescued by Monkey World.
They've not had any particular health issues or problems at all.
That's a Rambo with his teeth. Other than that, nothing.
The 3 males and 3 females are currently being looked after by Animals Lebanon, a charity based in Beirut, which campaigns to improve animal welfare and legislation there. It's run by Jason Meyer and his partner Maggie. All 6 baboons originally came from a small zoo in Lebanon and have been looked after by the organisation in the hills above the city since 2017. They've been on Alison's radar ever since, but there's never been space available at the park until now. The team in Dorset have erected a purpose-built facility for the baboons at the far end of the park. The building and maintenance teams have worked wonders in just a few months. And the new baboon house is nearing completion, along with 2 large outdoor enclosures. It should all be ready and waiting for the baboons to enjoy when they arrive.
Yeah, we're making leaps and bounds forward with the baboons. In fact, I'm sort of reaching out to Jason in Beirut now to just sort of see where he is. I've done the initial round of paperwork with the Lebanese authorities, so that is being worked on right now. In terms of our house at the park, it's the sort of outer shell is definitely up. The inside mesh is almost complete. The outside enclosures look fantastic. We just need the tunnels connecting the 2 outside areas and all of the internal network of tunnels connecting up the bedroom. So it's quite a nice big house. We're pretty close.
It's a big ask trying to move these animals with everything going on in the Middle East, and by no means a done deal. Alison has regular video catch-ups with the team in Lebanon to progress the situation.
Jason?
Hey, Jason.
So we separated this one and that one?
Yeah.
Today is an important step towards moving the baboons to Monkey World. All 6 are having a health check to confirm they're not carrying any diseases that can be transmitted to other primates.
It's a big day for us today. Today, actually, we're doing testing for 6 baboons that we rescued almost 6 years ago from a very bad zoo. We've been caring for them for the last 6 years, and we got the great news that one of the best primate sanctuaries or facilities in the world, Monkey World, at least to me, it's one of the best places, accepted to take them, provided we do all the tests that are required for them to enter the UK and test all the diseases. So today we're basically testing them for parasites, viruses, and bacteria to ensure that they're set to go.
Once the females have been inspected, it's time to move on to the larger males. The youngest is around 7 years old, and he's thought to be the son of Rambo, who's estimated to be about 25. He's the oldest of the group and their leader. It's a long day in quite difficult conditions, but eventually all 6 baboons have been examined.
All the medical checkups today went smoothly. They all seemed very healthy. Their teeth were clean. The vet checked everything. I mean, we scanned them for the microchips. Their vitals were okay. They all seemed very healthy. We just now have to await the test results.
If the tests come back all clear and the relevant authorities give the green light, it's only a matter of time before the park in Dorset welcomes Rambo and his family. While the Coombe Martin team prepare Neva's travel crate, Alison takes time out for another mission. She's keen to take a look at one particular primate species housed at the park, which has never been rescued by Monkey World: Hamadryas baboons. Coombe Martin has a bachelor group of 3 males who've lived at the centre for nearly 10 years. They were rescued by a Spanish organisation from appalling conditions in Europe.
Wow, look at Omar.
He's stunning, isn't he?
What a bottom. Woo.
Alison has good reason to take a close look at the baboons. Monkey World is planning to rehome 6 of their own very soon. The 3 males and 3 females are currently being looked after by an animal charity in Lebanon.
It would just be silly not to sort of check in with people who have been managing them for years. You always learn something just hearing about their characters, their interaction, how they deal with each other. And the baboons are very different. Yeah, new species for the park. Very basic, as Jeremy would call roughy-tufty monkeys. They're terrestrial, so ground-dwelling, and very expressive in their faces, their vocabulary, how they communicate with each other. Yeah, so all a voyage of discovery for us, and I suppose one of the first steps is here in Coombe Martin, seeing how they're getting on with their baboons.
Alison wants to view the baboons' living quarters.
3 bedrooms. We've added in a lot of ramps, but that's more just due to the fact as our boys have got older, they've struggled with some of the higher platforms.
Back in Dorset, work on the new baboon house at Monkey World is nearing completion, so any advice from Louisa is welcome.
Our boys don't like the rain. They will basically pull a face every time it rains. They'll bare their teeth, stick their tongue out, and they just go. If it's sunny, they're fine, but depending on the weather, they're very fair-weathered.
It's been a few weeks since Siamang Gibbons, Sam and Sasak moved to a temporary home at the main Gibbon house to allow the maintenance team to give their permanent facility a much-needed renovation. Despite the upheaval, the pair have settled in well and are getting used to their unusual neighbours. Today, primate care staff member Sarah is going to give the Siamangs a seasonal treat: rose hips on the stem. She's hanging them up high to encourage canopy feeding, just as they would in the wild.
It's a perfectly natural enrichment item for them. It's seasonal, so hopefully the Siamangs will like them. It'll get them up high. They'll be able to forage nice and naturally. They're not going to miss them. They're nice and colourful.
Along with the brightly coloured fruit, Sarah has added green beans to today's menu. The pair love the outdoors, and as soon as the slide is opened, they head outside. The colourful fruits immediately attract their attention. Sam is first to inspect them. Realising straight away the rose hips are sweet and tasty, he starts to guzzle them up. Sasak soon follows his lead. The rose hips are a good food source, full of antioxidants such as vitamin C. In the wild, fruit and leaves make up a large part of a Siamang's diet, although they also eat insects and flowers. Today's enrichment is a bit different, because the rose hips come with a prickly problem on the stems, and the Siamang's hands are not best suited to help solve it.
So having the elongated fingers and a really short thumb puts their hands in that lovely hook-like position to move through the trees as quickly as they do, but of course they're not as dexterous in being able to manipulate food items and enrichment items and things like that. The rose hips was a really good idea because they are nice rounded shape, so they can sort of pick off the bits that they want and then hopefully avoid the thorns. This is quite a good lesson to learn for the gibbons of what not to touch and what to touch, because not everything is edible. And I'm sure Sasak found that out today.
The rose hips have proved popular, and the green beans make an excellent second course. The two Siamangs have settled in their temporary home, and to remind everyone this is now their territory, they start singing. The song is the loudest of all gibbon species and can reach up to 90 decibels. Their large throat sacs inflate, amplifying the sound as they perform duets with complex vocal structures. The male and female have their own parts of the song to sing and form a perfect harmony, demonstrating their strong bonds and letting everyone know Sam and Sasak are in the house.